Dr. Lisa Martinez wiped her tired eyes and looked at the clock on her lab wall. It was 3 in the morning, but she could not sleep. The numbers on her computer screen made no sense to her colleagues, but Lisa saw something different. Something that made her heart race with fear and excitement. She had been working at the Kepler Research Station for 2 years now. The station floated in space near Proxima Centauri, far from Earth and far from anyone who cared about her work. Most days, Lisa felt invisible. The other scientists worked on big projects that got attention. They studied alien metals that could make better spaceships. They looked at strange plants that might cure diseases. They got their names in science journals and gave speeches at conferences. Lisa studied tiny alien germs. Bacteria so small you needed a powerful microscope to see them. Her boss, Dr. Frank Coleman, always said her work was useful but not important. The other researchers made jokes about Lisa and her germs. They called her the germ girl behind her back. Lisa did not mind. She liked working alone. She liked the quiet of Lab 7, where she spent most of her time. The germs came from 12 different planets that humans had visited. The sample collectors thought they were just regular bacteria, the kind you might find anywhere. They sat in storage for months before Lisa asked to study them. Nobody else wanted them. Lisa took them because she needed something to work on, and nobody else cared about tiny alien germs. But Lisa discovered something strange after 6 months of careful study. These germs were not natural. Someone had made them. They were too perfect, too organized. Natural bacteria were messy and random. These germs had patterns. They had purpose. Lisa spent another month running tests. She grew the germs in different conditions. She exposed them to heat, cold, radiation, and chemicals. Normal bacteria died or changed in random ways. These alien germs adapted in smart ways. They seemed to learn from each test and get better at surviving. Then Lisa made a discovery that changed everything. The germs could talk to each other, not with sounds or signals that humans could easily detect. They used something much more advanced. They used quantum entanglement, a physics concept that Lisa barely understood, but knew was important. The germs from different planets could somehow communicate instantly across vast distances of space. Lisa worked alone for weeks, afraid to tell anyone what she had found. She ran the same tests over and over, hoping she was wrong. But the results were always the same. These alien germs formed a communication network that spanned multiple star systems. It was like a biological internet that connected different worlds. Late one night, Lisa realized something that made her hands shake. If these germs could communicate across space, and if they were on 12 different planets that humans had visited, then something was watching humanity. The germs were not just random bacteria. They were sensors. They were spies. Lisa began checking the dates when the germs were collected. The first samples came from planets that humans had visited 5 years ago. The newest samples came from colonies that humans had built just 6 months ago. Wherever humans went in space, these germs appeared. They were following human expansion into the galaxy. She studied the chemical signatures of the germs more carefully. What she found made her stomach turn with worry. The germs were not just watching humans. They were gathering information. They tested human technology, human biology, and human behavior. The germs could analyze the metals in human ships, the genetics of human colonists, and even the radio signals that humans used to communicate. Lisa discovered that the germs were getting more active. Recent samples showed higher levels of the chemicals they used to communicate. Something was changing. The network was preparing for something big. She tried to sleep, but her mind would not stop racing. Lisa had always been a careful scientist. She double-checked everything and never made wild claims. But the evidence was clear. An advanced alien civilization was using biological spies to watch humanity spread across the galaxy. They were learning everything about humans, and humans knew nothing about them. Lisa thought about her childhood on Earth. She grew up in a small town where nothing exciting ever happened. She became a scientist because she wanted to discover new things, but she never wanted to be famous. She liked solving puzzles that other people ignored. She liked finding answers to questions that nobody else asked. Now, Lisa had found the biggest puzzle of her life, and she was terrified of the answer. The alien germs were too sophisticated to be created by accident. Whatever made them was more advanced than humanity. If they were watching humans this carefully, they probably saw humans as a threat. Or maybe they saw humans as prey. Lisa looked at her computer again. The quantum signatures of the germs had changed in the past week. The network was becoming more active. Messages were flowing between the biological spies faster than ever before. Something was happening, and Lisa was the only human who knew about it. She thought about telling her boss, Dr. Coleman, but he would probably think she was crazy. Lisa had always been quiet and kept to herself. The other scientists already thought she was strange. If she started talking about alien spy networks, they might send her back to Earth. Lisa decided to gather more evidence first. She would study the germs for another month and document everything carefully. She would build mathematical models that proved her theory. She would create a report that even the most skeptical scientist could not ignore. But as Lisa worked through the night, she did not know that her discovery had already triggered something. The alien germs were designed to detect when humans discovered them. Deep in space, in a place humans had never seen, alarms were sounding in the command centers of the Zephyrian Collective. High Coordinator Vex Thul received the alert with cold satisfaction. The biological monitoring system had detected unusual human activity. One human had discovered the surveillance network. This meant humans were more advanced than the collective had estimated. It was time to move to the next phase of their plan. The collective had been watching humanity for 5 years, learning about human strengths and weaknesses. They had concluded that humans were dangerous. Humans adapted too quickly to new environments. Human technology advanced too fast. Humans bred too rapidly and spread across space like a plague. The collective had faced this problem before with other species. The solution was always the same: eliminate the threat before it became too strong to control. Orders went out to collective fleets positioned throughout the galaxy. Begin preparations for the systematic destruction of human colonies. The purge would start within months. Lisa Martinez worked alone in her quiet lab, unaware that her discovery had started a countdown to war. She continued studying her alien germs, trying to understand a threat that was already moving to destroy everything she loved. Lisa Martinez had not slept well in 3 weeks. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the data streams from her alien germs. The numbers were getting worse each day. The biological network was becoming more active, sending more messages, preparing for something that made Lisa's hands shake when she thought about it. She had been checking the quantum signatures every morning for a month now. Today was different. The readings were off the charts. The alien germs were practically screaming at each other across space. Whatever they were planning, it was happening soon. Lisa made a decision that scared her. She had to tell someone. She could not carry this secret alone anymore. If she was right about the alien network, then humanity was in terrible danger. If she was wrong, then she would look like a fool. But at least she would have tried. Dr. Alan Wright was the deputy director of Kepler Research Station. He was a fair man who treated Lisa with respect, unlike some of the other senior staff. Alan had always been kind to Lisa, asking about her work and listening when she explained her research. If anyone would believe her, it might be Alan. Lisa found Alan in his office, drinking coffee and reading reports. He looked up when she knocked on his door. "Lisa, come in. You look tired. Are you feeling okay?" Lisa sat down across from Alan's desk. Her hands were shaking, so she put them in her lap. "Alan, I need to show you something. It's about my research. I think I found something important." Alan set down his coffee and gave Lisa his full attention. "What kind of something?" Lisa pulled out her tablet and showed Alan the data. "These alien bacteria I've been studying. They're not natural. Someone made them. They're communicating with each other across space using quantum entanglement." Alan looked at the numbers on Lisa's screen. He was a smart man, but quantum physics was not his specialty. "I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying these germs can talk to each other?" "More than that," Lisa said. "They're watching us. They're on every planet that humans have visited. They're gathering information about our technology, our biology, our colonies. They're spying on humanity." Alan was quiet for a long moment. He looked at Lisa's data again, then back at Lisa. "That's a serious claim, Lisa. Do you have proof?" Lisa spent the next hour showing Alan everything she had discovered. The patterns in the germ behavior, the quantum signatures that proved they were communicating, the chemical analysis that showed they were testing human materials, the timeline that matched human expansion into space. When she finished, Alan was pale. "If this is true, Lisa, then we have a major problem. These germs are everywhere humans have been. Every planet we visited," Lisa confirmed. "Every colony, every research station, every mining operation. They're watching everything we do." Alan stood up and walked to his window. Outside, he could see the stars where human colonies were spread across dozens of worlds. "How long have you known about this?" "I've been working on it for months, but I only understood what it meant 3 weeks ago. The network is getting more active. Something is changing." Alan turned back to Lisa. "We need to contact Earth immediately. This information needs to get to the right people." Before Lisa could respond, her tablet beeped with an alert. She looked at the screen and her face went white. "Alan, the quantum activity just spiked. The germs are sending massive amounts of data right now." At that moment, alarms began sounding throughout the station. Emergency lights flashed red in the corridors. Over the intercom, a voice announced, "All personnel to emergency stations. This is not a drill. Unknown vessels approaching the system." Alan and Lisa ran to the command center, where screens showed 3 large alien ships moving toward Kepler Station. The ships were unlike anything in human databases. They were sleek and dark, with no visible weapons, but they moved with purpose. Captain Helen Torres was already in the command center, coordinating with her crew aboard the military vessel Defiant. Helen was a tough woman who had served in the outer colonies for 10 years. She commanded the only armed ship in the system, and she was not happy about the alien visitors. "Dr. Wright," Helen said when she saw Alan enter, "what do we know about these ships? Are they hostile?" Alan looked at Lisa, then back at Helen. "Captain, I think Dr. Martinez has information that might be relevant. Lisa, tell the captain what you told me." Lisa explained her discovery about the alien surveillance network. As she spoke, Helen's expression grew more serious. When Lisa finished, Helen was quiet for a moment. "So you're saying these aliens have been watching us for years?" Helen asked. "Yes," Lisa said. "And the network just went into overdrive right before these ships appeared. I think my discovery triggered something." Helen turned to her communications officer. "Get me a secure channel to Earth Command, Priority Alpha." While Helen contacted Earth, Lisa continued monitoring the alien germs. The quantum activity was incredible. Messages were flying between the biological spies on dozens of worlds. The network was coordinating something big. "Captain," Lisa said, "the germ network is connecting to something new. There are quantum signatures I've never seen before. I think they're talking to those ships." Helen finished her communication with Earth and turned back to Lisa. "Earth Command wants all your research data transmitted immediately. They're sending a specialist team, but it will take them weeks to get here. We might not have weeks, Lisa said, watching her screens. The alien network is preparing for something major. Look at these patterns. Lisa showed Helen and Alan the data streams. Even without understanding the technical details, they could see that the alien network was building towards something. The quantum signatures were reaching levels that Lisa had never recorded before. What do you think they're planning? Helen asked. Lisa studied the data for a moment. Based on the network activity and the timing of these ships arriving, I think they're coordinating attacks on human colonies. The biological spies have been gathering information about our defenses, our technology, our population centers. Now, they're sharing that information with attack fleets. Helen's face hardened. How many colonies are at risk? All of them, Lisa said quietly. The network covers every world humans have settled. If I'm right, they could hit dozens of colonies simultaneously. Helen activated her ship's communication system. All human colonies in the sector, this is Captain Torres of the Defiant. We have reason to believe coordinated alien attacks are imminent. Raise your defense shields and prepare for possible hostile contact. As Helen sent warnings across human space, Lisa noticed something new in her data. The alien ships near Kepler Station were not just receiving information from the biological network, they were sending information back. They were updating the network with new data about human responses to their arrival. They're learning from us right now, Lisa told Helen. Everything we do, every defensive measure we take, the network is recording it and sharing it with other alien forces. Helen realized the implications immediately. If we fight them here, we'll be teaching them how to fight all of humanity. Lisa nodded grimly. The network will share everything they learn about our weapons, our tactics, our weaknesses. Every battle we fight makes them stronger. The 3 alien ships moved closer to Kepler Station, and Lisa watched her screens as the biological network reached peak activity. Somewhere in space, alien fleets were receiving final intelligence reports about human colonies. The attack was about to begin, and humanity did not even know it was at war. Lisa Martinez, the quiet scientist who just wanted to study germs in peace, had discovered the greatest threat humanity had ever faced. Now she found herself at the center of a conflict that would determine whether humans survived in the galaxy or became another species that the aliens had eliminated. The specialist team from Earth arrived 3 days after the alien ships left Kepler Station. Lisa had spent those 3 days watching her screens, tracking the biological network as it continued its frantic activity. The alien spies were still sending messages across the galaxy, but now the patterns were different. They were coordinating something bigger than before. Agent Kate Morrison was the first person off the transport ship. She was tall and moved with the confidence of someone who had seen dangerous situations before. Behind her came 3 other people who did not look like typical scientists. They wore simple clothes, but Lisa noticed they carried themselves like soldiers. Dr. Martinez, Kate said, walking directly to Lisa. I'm Agent Morrison with Earth Strategic Intelligence Division. We need to talk. Lisa had never heard of the Strategic Intelligence Division, but she nodded. What do you want to know? Everything, Kate said. But first, let me tell you what we know. For the past 5 years, human ships have been disappearing in deep space. Colony equipment has been failing in ways that don't make sense. We've been tracking these incidents, but we couldn't find a pattern until we got your report. Kate introduced her team. Ryan Price was a combat engineer who specialized in alien technology. Sam Davis was a communications expert who understood quantum systems. The third member, Dr. Lucy Chun, was a biologist who had been studying alien life forms for the government. We think your alien spy network is connected to the missing ships, Kate explained as they walked to Lisa's lab. 17 ships have vanished in the past 5 years. No distress signals, no wreckage, no survivors. Until now, we thought it was bad luck or equipment failure. Lisa felt sick. You think the aliens have been taking human ships? We think they've been testing us, Ryan said. Learning about our technology, our weapons, our responses to threats. Your biological network would be perfect for coordinating that kind of operation. In Lab 7, Lisa showed the team everything she had discovered. Kate and her people understood the implications immediately. They were not just scientists or soldiers. They were intelligence agents who had been preparing for something like this. How long before they attack? Sam asked, studying Lisa's quantum readings. The network activity suggests they're in final preparations, Lisa said. Maybe weeks, maybe days, but there's something else. I think I found a weakness in their system. Kate leaned forward. What kind of weakness? Lisa pulled up her most recent analysis. The biological network uses quantum entanglement to communicate instantly across space. But quantum entanglement is fragile. If you disrupt the quantum state of the organisms, the communication breaks down. Can we disrupt it? Dr. Chun asked. Maybe, Lisa said. I've been working on a theoretical approach. We could create counter-organisms that mimic the quantum signatures of the alien spies. If we introduce them into the network, they might cause cascading failures. Kate smiled for the first time since arriving. Like a computer virus, but for biological systems. Exactly, Lisa said. But it would be dangerous. If we're wrong, we might make the network stronger instead of weaker. Ryan studied Lisa's data. What would we need to make this work? Lisa had been thinking about this for days. We need samples of the alien organisms from multiple planets. We need a way to synthesize counter-organisms that can fool the network. And we need a way to distribute them without the aliens knowing what we're doing. We can handle distribution, Kate said. Earth has intelligence assets throughout human space. Scientists, traders, colonists who work for us without knowing it. But can you really create these counter-organisms? Lisa looked at her lab equipment. I think so, but I'll need help. And I'll need to test them carefully. If the aliens detect what we're doing before we're ready, they'll adapt their network to defend against it. Kate made a decision. Dr. Chun will work with you on the biological aspects. Sam will help with the quantum mechanics. Ryan will handle the technical side of distribution. I'll coordinate with our people throughout human space. For the next 2 weeks, Lisa's quiet lab became the center of a secret operation. She worked 18-hour days with Dr. Chun, designing synthetic organisms that could penetrate the alien network. Sam helped them understand how to disrupt quantum entanglement without detection. Ryan built devices that could grow and distribute the counter-organisms. Lisa discovered that creating biological weapons was very different from studying alien bacteria. Every decision had consequences that could affect the entire human species. If their plan failed, it might provoke the aliens into attacking immediately. If it succeeded, it might start a war that humanity was not ready to fight. Are we doing the right thing? Lisa asked Kate one evening as they reviewed their progress. Kate was honest. I don't know. But doing nothing means letting the aliens choose when and how to attack us. At least this way, we have some control. During the 3rd week, Lisa made a breakthrough. The counter-organisms were working in laboratory tests. They could mimic the quantum signatures of the alien spies and introduce disruption into their communication network. But the real test would come when they deployed them in space. We're ready, Lisa told Kate. But once we start, there's no going back. The aliens will know we're fighting them. Kate contacted Earth and received final authorization for the operation. Throughout human space, intelligence agents prepared to distribute Lisa's counter-organisms. They would be introduced into the alien spy network through routine scientific activities. Nobody would suspect that a simple bacterial sample exchange was actually a weapon deployment. The night before the operation began, Lisa could not sleep. She walked through the empty corridors of Kepler Station, thinking about how her life had changed. 3 months ago, she was a quiet researcher who studied boring bacteria. Now she was creating biological weapons that might save or doom humanity. Lisa returned to her lab and checked her equipment one more time. Everything was ready. The counter-organisms were stable. The distribution network was in place. Tomorrow, they would find out if a quiet scientist's discovery could defeat an alien conspiracy that had been years in the making. Agent Morrison found Lisa in the lab at dawn. "Are you ready for this?" Lisa looked at her screens, showing the alien spy network still buzzing with activity. Somewhere in space, alien fleets were preparing to attack human colonies. The biological spies were sending final intelligence reports, coordinating the destruction of everything Lisa cared about. "Yes," Lisa said. "Let's do it." Kate activated her communicator. "All stations, this is Morrison. Operation Quiet Storm is authorized. Begin distribution of the packages." Across human space, the counterattack began. Lisa's synthetic organisms started their journey into the alien spy network, carrying a digital virus that would either blind humanity's enemies or reveal humanity's weakness. The quiet revolution had begun, and Lisa Martinez was no longer invisible. The first sign that their plan was working came 6 hours after they released the counter-organisms. Lisa watched her screens as the alien spy network began showing strange patterns. The quantum signatures were becoming unstable. Messages between the biological spies were getting scrambled and delayed. "It's working," Lisa whispered to Agent Morrison, who was standing behind her in the lab. "The counter-organisms are spreading through the network faster than I expected." Kate activated her communicator. "All stations, we have initial success. Continue with Phase 2 distribution." Across human space, intelligence agents at research stations, mining colonies, and trading posts introduced more of Lisa's synthetic organisms into local alien bacteria samples. The counter-organisms spread like wildfire through the biological network, each one carrying the digital virus that Lisa and Dr. Chun had designed. By the end of the first day, the alien spy network was in chaos. Lisa could see massive communication failures spreading from system to system. The quantum entanglement that held the network together was breaking down in cascading waves. "Look at this," Sam Davis said, pointing to his quantum analysis equipment. "The aliens are trying to compensate for the failures, but our virus is adapting faster than they can respond." Dr. Chun was monitoring the biological aspects of the attack. The counter-organisms are not just disrupting communication. They're actually taking over parts of the network. We're turning their own spy system against them. 3 days into the operation, Captain Helen Torres contacted them from the Defiant. "Lisa, you need to see this. We're picking up alien ships all over the sector, but they're not attacking. They're just floating in space." Lisa studied the sensor data that Helen transmitted. Dozens of alien vessels were drifting aimlessly near human colonies. Their engines were running, but they were not moving toward any targets. "They're lost," Lisa realized. The alien ships depend on the biological network for navigation in human space. Without it, they can't find our colonies. Agent Morrison smiled grimly. "They came here to attack us, but now they don't know where we are." The full scope of their success became clear over the next week. The alien spy network that had taken years to build was completely destroyed. The Zephyrian Collective's main advantage over humanity was gone. Their fleets were blind, their coordination was broken, and their intelligence about human capabilities was cut off. High Coordinator Vex Thul received the reports with growing horror. The biological monitoring system that the Collective had perfected over centuries was failing across the galaxy. Worse, the failure was spreading to other alien species that the Collective monitored. The quantum virus was not just destroying the network that watched humans. It was attacking all biological surveillance systems that used similar technology. How is this possible? Vex Thul demanded of his science advisors. The humans are barely capable of interstellar travel. How did they create a weapon that can destroy quantum biological networks? The answer came from intercepted human communications. A single human scientist, working alone in a small laboratory, had discovered their surveillance system and created a counterweapon in a matter of weeks. The collective had underestimated human ingenuity by an enormous margin. Faced with the collapse of their strategic advantage, Vex Thul made a decision that shocked his military commanders. Recall all fleets. We are withdrawing from human space immediately. Coordinator, one of his generals protested. We have superior numbers and firepower. We can still destroy the human colonies. With what intelligence? Vex Thul replied. We don't know where their colonies are anymore. We don't know their defensive capabilities. We don't know how many more surprises they have prepared. This human scientist has proven that their species is more dangerous than we calculated. The alien withdrawal happened quickly. Within 2 weeks, collective ships disappeared from human space. Some were recalled to alien territory. Others, unable to navigate without the biological network, were abandoned by their crews who escaped in smaller vessels. Lisa watched the retreat from her lab, hardly believing what her quiet discovery had accomplished. The alien spy network was completely silent now. Her screens showed only the normal background quantum noise of empty space. We did it, Dr. Chun said, reviewing the final reports. The alien surveillance system is destroyed, their fleets are gone, and human colonies are safe. Agent Morrison was less celebratory. This is just the beginning. The aliens know about us now. They'll be back eventually, with different tactics. But not today, Lisa said, and not tomorrow. We bought humanity time to prepare. Kate smiled. We did more than that. We proved that humans can defend themselves against threats they've never seen before. Other alien species will think twice before challenging us. Captain Torres arrived at Kepler Station the next day with news from Earth. The government wants to thank everyone involved in Operation Quiet Storm. There will be medals and promotions. For all of you, Lisa shook her head. I don't want medals. I just want to go back to my research. That's not going to happen, Kate said gently. Earth wants you to head a new division focused on alien biological threats. You'll have unlimited resources and the best team in human space. Lisa looked around her small lab where everything had started. Can I still work alone sometimes? When you want to, Kate promised. But the galaxy is a dangerous place, Lisa. Humanity needs scientists like you who can see threats that others miss. Ryan Price had been analyzing captured alien technology from the abandoned ships. Lisa, you should see this. The aliens were not just watching us. They were preparing biological weapons to use against human colonies. Your counter-organisms didn't just stop their surveillance. They probably saved millions of human lives. Lisa felt the weight of what they had accomplished. Her curiosity about strange bacteria had led to the discovery of a galactic conspiracy. Her quiet research had prevented a war that humanity might not have survived. 6 months later, Lisa stood in a new laboratory on Earth, much larger and better equipped than her old workspace at Kepler Station. She had a team of 12 scientists working with her, studying alien biological threats from across the galaxy. But sometimes late at night, she worked alone on projects that nobody else understood. Agent Morrison, now Director Morrison, visited Lisa regularly. Any new discoveries I should know about? Lisa smiled. Always. The galaxy is full of interesting organisms. Most of them are harmless, but some are not. I'll keep watching. Good, Kate said. Because somewhere out there, other alien species are watching us. Next time we'll be ready. Lisa returned to her microscope, studying samples from a newly discovered world. She looked for patterns that others might miss, searching for threats that hid in plain sight. She had learned that the most dangerous enemies were often the smallest ones, and that sometimes the fate of humanity rested in the hands of scientists who preferred to excel quietly. The galaxy was vast and full of mysteries. Lisa Martinez was no longer invisible, but she still loved solving puzzles that others ignored. And humanity was safer because one quiet scientist had refused to let strange bacteria remain unexplained.